Okay, this is part 3. We're going to talk about printing to the console. This is similar to what we did last time with our first program where we printed out Hello World to the console, but I want to go just a little bit more in depth. I don't expect this will be a terribly long video, but I think that it will be good. Alright, so to start off with, the first thing that I said was when we were in cout, I said that there was that double less than operator, and I said that you could use it to chain together things that you wanted to print out. Alright, and I want to actually go in and do that. This, so let me go back to where I was before. If I do cout hello world. Okay, when I have this here, this little double less than, in the context of cout, this is called the stream operator. And the key is that I use it to chain together things that I want to print out, and there's no limit to how much stuff I can print out. Alright, so if I want to print out some more stuff, what I can do is I can just keep on adding stream operators and say this endo is endo my endo program. And what you can see I've done here is I've just said, okay, instead of printing off one string followed by a new line, what I'm doing is I just keep on adding stream operators to say and print off this string, then another endl, then this string, then another endl, then this string, then another endl, then this string. And let's put another endl on the end as well, so that it looks nice. Okay, and when I run this, Control F5 to run, what you can see is what it's done is it said, hello world, this is my program. It has printed off each one of these strings that I've given it, and it has printed a new line in between each one of the words, and this is my program, because that's what I told it to do. I can keep on chaining these things together, and it's actually pretty convenient, especially when we get into variables. This is going to be really convenient because you're going to be able to print out things that have values that you're trying to show the user. You can try and just keep on chaining them together and keep on printing out things. You don't have to make a bunch of different statements. You don't have to do. It seems very natural. Especially as we get into variables, you'll get that feeling that, oh, this makes sense. Okay, I can just keep printing things out. All right. So that's the first thing, is being able to chain the stream operator together. And you're going to see that a lot. We're just going to do it, and I'm going to assume that you know now what we're doing with these stream operators, that we can just keep on printing thing after thing after thing after thing after thing, and cout will happily do it. Alright. The next thing I want to talk about with printing to the console is this thing with endl. Okay, endl prints a new line. But endl is not the only way to print a new line using cout. You can also, if you put inside your string, if you put \n, this also prints a new line. The two of these are exactly the same. If you, inside your string, put a /n, it will print a new line exactly the same way as if you had used an endl. Okay, so we can see how that works by going back to our program. So where I have this is my program, if I change it to all one string, this is my program, and instead of spaces, I put /n's, \n, \n. When I've done this now, whenever C++ sees that /n inside the string, it is going to change it into a new line character that forces my output to go to the next line. Okay, and I can run it to make sure this is the case. And you can see, hello world, this is my program. It looks exactly the same. /n and endl do the exact same thing. There is no preference of which one you should use. You can use whichever one you see fit. I will typically use endl unless it makes more sense to use /n. But they are both completely fine to use. All right, and /n, as it turned out, has a name. It's called an escaped character. All right. Anything that begins with that followed by some letter is called an escaped character. And /n is one of several. /n, as we've seen, does a new line. But there are others too. So /t is a tab. If I need to print a tab out to the console, I use a /t. And C++ will take that /t and it will convert it into a tab character inside my string. Alright. Other escaped characters that are important. So let's say that I want to print something that has a quotation in it, that has a double quote in it. Let's see what happens if I try to do that. So if I go over here to my string, and I just say, he said, wow. There we go. So I'm trying to print out something that has a quotation in it with double quotes. If I try to run it, you can see that the compiler explodes. And the reason the compiler explodes is because the compiler does not realize that when I put this double quote right here, I was actually trying to print the double quote. What it sees is oh, this person made a string right there, and the string ends at that double quote. Then they have wow exclamation mark, which it has no idea what to do with, undeclared identifier wow. And then it sees this other quote, and my actual ending quote on the string, it sees that as an empty string. And it doesn't know what to do with that either, because I've just put it next to this exclamation mark that it knows nothing of what to do with. Okay, so if I want to print out a double quote, it turns out what I have to do is I have to escape it. A /double quote actually just prints a double quote. So if I want to print out a double quote in C++, I have to put that / in on both of them. And now when C++ sees a / quote, it realizes, okay, wait a minute, this is not the end of the string. This person actually wants a double quote inside their string. Okay, and now that I've escaped those double quotes, if I try it again, it works as you would expect. It now is actually printing these double quotes. Alright, the last one we're going to do, the last escape character we're going to talk about, is what happens if I want to print out something like, say, either / neither. Alright, I just want to print out either / neither on the console. If I run it, well, I don't get an error, so that's good. But if you actually look at the output that I got, you can see that it's showing me either, and then on a new line, either. So it didn't print out what I wanted at all. And you can kind of start to see why when you take a look at the fact that, well, the word neither starts with the letter N. And I put in a /. And so what C++ saw was it saw either new line character either. And that's exactly what it printed out. Okay. So if I actually want to print out an actual /, I have to escape that one too. So if I want a single /, I actually have to put in a double /. And when I put in that double /, what C++ is going to do is it's going to say, okay, hold on. This person doesn't want to print an escaped character. They want to actually print out an actual /. I should not treat this as something special. I should just say, hey, print out a single /. So if I escape that / and run it, now you can see that it actually prints out what I wanted, either / neither. And what's useful about these escaped characters, there are more of them, but none of them are nearly as widely used or as useful as these four. These four apply to all strings in C++. Okay, this comes to the consistency of the compiler. All we're doing is we're printing a string here, and so these escaped characters work in all strings in all contexts. So if I need a new line, a tab, a double quote, or a /, I'm going to use these escaped sequences in order to make that work. And you can kind of, the more you work with it, the more it makes sense why C++ has to do this, because there's not much other of a way to have a double quote in a string, you have to indicate to the language somehow that you're not trying to end the string. You actually want a double quote character inside the string. So you will see it in other contexts, but mostly as we're printing out is when you will use these escape characters. Alright, so that was a little bit of a short video, but that's totally fine. Next one's going to be short too. We're just going to talk about comments, and we're going to talk about the idea of white space in C++. It's not difficult, it doesn't take very long, but it is important to understand. And so until then.